to order, and I'd like to call on Ward 7 Doug Wilcox to do the invocation for us.
All right, thank you. Please bow your heads. Father, thank you for every seat that's been filled here today. Thank you for each mind and heart present in this room. Only you truly know what we are setting out to accomplish today. Guide our ideas and our visions so they may align with your vision in our purpose to serve the city of Hopkinsville and the people of this community. Bless this meeting today, all those present, as well as the lives of those impacted by the work here tonight. Prepare us to make the most of every moment. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Call on the clerk to call the roll on item 4.
Councilmember Francis.
Here.
Councilmember Smiley.
Here.
Councilmember Marsh.
Here.
Councilmember Crabtree.
Here.
Councilmember Craig. Councilmember Martin.
Here.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Here.
Councilmember Meek.
Here.
Councilmember Limburger.
Here.
Councilmember Keel.
Here.
Councilmember Bell.
Here.
Councilmember Handy. We do have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Ms. Craig and Mr. Hamby are both doing stuff for school this evening, so that's the reason they're not here tonight, getting ready for opening day of school. Item 5, awards and recognitions. We have none, so we'll move into item 6, public comments. If anybody has something to say to the council, would you please step to the podium? You have 3 minutes. State your name and address, please.
Hi.
Hey.
I do have something.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Hopefully this will be 3 minutes. My name is Luann Porter Tatum. I am an active member of this community, born and raised. So I do have it prepared in a little paragraph form, if that's okay. And
That's
I hope
fine.
it's less than 3 minutes. Okay. Good evening, council members. It is an absolute privilege to stand in front of community leaders in the town of which my family and extended family were born and raised. I'm 100% invested in this community. Perhaps like many of you, I moved back after college to raise my family when I could have moved anywhere. I wanted to support my hometown, and I believe in my hometown. I saw my mother retire from adult education, and I saw my dad run a dental practice for many years. I currently serve as the executive director for Christian Care Communities of Hopkinsville. I give this background to reiterate my dedication and love for this community, and most importantly, my care and concern for the operational decisions made on behalf of local businesses. I've had the recent opportunity to observe how city departments work with local businesses, in this case, towing companies. I married into a family that has owned a towing company in Hopkinsville for almost 40 years. That's a significant amount of time to maintain a small business with all the intricacies that come with it. I believe one role of local agencies and councils is to identify ways to give businesses every opportunity to thrive. However, in my recent position of being an onlooker, I have seen the opposite occur, perhaps unintentionally, but I have watched my husband and father-in-law's family business go from thriving to almost surviving, predictability to uneasiness, and not because of their own changes, but because of apparent processes implemented that changed their relationship with city departments, that seemingly changed the way available business is distributed among local tow companies. And I'm unsure if groups making decisions really understand this or think about how something like this will affect a business, but in leadership roles, we should at least be open for that conversation. Decisions that affect small businesses on any level should have ways to be evaluated and assessed by people it affects most. In concluding, I have witnessed my family and their towing colleagues experience fret, worry, and dig deep for solutions. I have witnessed them seek any persons that will engage in conversations that will protect their livelihoods, someone to consider the real consequences that have followed from these changes and decisions that were made. With that said, I humbly take this opportunity to seek answers to issues that quite literally affect me, my children, my son in the military, my daughter that's just starting at UK, my extended family, and several small businesses that simply want a fair chance to operate and do as well as they possibly can. I hope to open up the conversation to recreate fairness, transparency, and goodwill for all Hopkinsville towing companies and the agencies that work alongside them. So with that, I did have a couple of questions, and I don't know if this is the proper way to do it, but I just really wanted to understand, why the original next on the list ECC protocols were changed.
On that, I will get with the ECC board and I will get you some answers and I will get back with you by the end of the week and we'll go from there. Okay?
Okay.
Any other questions?
Just and beyond that question, I just would be very interested in open conversation on how we perhaps could get back to that, or that you could discuss with local small businesses on, ways to get back to how things were fair for everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak at the public comments tonight? All right. All righty. Seeing that, ma'am, I will get you an answer by the end of the week for you. We'll have more conversations. All righty. Mayor's comments. We got a few of those tonight. We'll move into them on item 7. I'd like to thank Ms. Keller and Brent and them at the museum for all that they had going on for the museum, the last one for this year since school starting back with out of the mayor's office. We helped support that for all the kids to come and see. We talked about aliens on Monday. We did. I'd like to thank Greg Harper for his 25 years, for his hard work and dedication to the city of Hopkinsville. He is not retiring. He just served 25 years so far for us. Elvis Williams, though, will be retiring after 30 years on Friday. So we will be having lunch for them and cupcakes and cake for them over at the Public Works. We had a great time at Relay for Life the other night. We had a great crowd out there. Me and a few of the council members were there. We had a great time and enjoyed the people out there and seeing everyone and trying to find a cure for cancer because it touches everyone. We also had a good weekend at the fairgrounds with the Cattlemen Associations. They had a great time, a good turnout. Even with the pouring down rain, people still stayed and watched the rodeo on Saturday night. We have Alien Invasion at the Visitor Center tomorrow night, and we're going to watch E.T. out there at the Visitor Center out there off of Pembroke Road there in the into Skyline Drive. So come on out. We'll enjoy that. We have food trucks and games and etc. We also got a big thing Sunday out there with Miss Turner and them out at the Jeffers Bend. We have the Hummingbird Festival, our second annual one of that. Come out and see that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And in September the 25th, we're having the senior games. I know we talking about this early. We want everybody to get it registered that wants to come out and do that. We can maybe get, well, I don't know, Keel's not that old yet. He can't be a senior, so.
Pretty close.
Pretty close. Not by far. All righty. Summer Salute is Saturday and Sunday. Parks and Rec's doing a great job. Mike and his crew, Toby and them are working hard. We got Jimmy Church on Friday night. We got food trucks. We're going to have all kinds of stuff going. I believe that every vendor slot is sold. So we're going to have, downtown's going to be packed. And then on Saturday night, we'll be Parmalee. So go to HoptownSummerSalutes.com for event information, and you can hear a playlist of some of the stuff that's going to be going on and who's going to be playing what at Summer Salute. So please come and do that, and we'll go at it. And now we're going to move. I'm going to call Travis Martin. Would you bring up your moving this ordinance around?
Yes, sir. Mayor, I know we have an online and out-of-town guest on Zoom tonight, so I want to make a motion. We move up Ordinance E to where we are currently on the agenda.
Okay. Got a motion. Got a second by Councilman Keel. All those in favor?
Aye.
All righty. We will bring up Ordinance E is 26/2024 Charter Cable Service Franchise. We have Ms. Carol and Ms. Linda online on Zoom, so we can talk. There are attorneys besides Mr. Willen. So we will get started. You want to read that out for us, please?
An ordinance governing a franchise to Spectrum Mid-America LLC, which is an indirect subsidiary of Charter Communications Incorporated and locally known as Spectrum or its permitted successors or assigns, charter or franchisee, for for the provision of cable service in the city of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and setting forth conditions accompanying the grant for franchise and providing for the regulation and use of said franchise. Summary, now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, that Spectrum Mid-America LLC, which is an indirect subsidiary of Charter Communications Incorporated and locally known as Spectrum or its permitted successors or assigns, franchisee is hereby accepted and approved for a non-exclusive 10-year franchise for the operation of cable service within the confines of the City of Hopkinsville, based upon and subject to the terms, specifications, restrictions, and obligations set forth in this ordinance and applicable law. General provisions titled, this ordinance shall be known and may be cited as the Charter Cable Service Franchise Ordinance, hereinafter Ordinance or Franchise. Definitions, set forth definitions of words used in this ordinance. Rights and privileges of franchisee sets out the rights and privileges granted to franchisee. Franchise area describes the geographic area covered by the franchise. Duration of the ordinance describes the term of the franchise and franchisee's obligations to the city after the franchise terminates. Police and other powers establishes the city is not waiving any police or other governmental powers in the ordinance. Notice is set forth addresses for notification purposes. Indemnification and insurance sets franchisee's insurance requirements and franchisee's indemnification to the city for damages. Rights of individuals sets forth standards for protecting the rights of individuals. Public notice provides minimum public notice of any public meeting relating to the franchise shall be prescribed by Kentucky law. Severability sets forth the severability clause with respect to terms of the ordinance. Severability availability provides the franchisee shall provide cable service throughout the franchise area pursuant to the provisions of the franchise. Construction and technical standards set forth standards for design, construction, operation, and maintenance cable service and set forth franchisees' responsibilities with respect to the use of the right-of-ways and franchisees' release of the city for any requirements imposed under the ordinance. Customer service sets forth customer service standards consistent with 47 CFR Section 76309C and refers to Exhibit B to the ordinance, which states, franchisee currently maintains an office in the city and the parties agree that the office is adequately staffed to receive bill payments, exchange equipment, and respond to customer inquiries. Franchisees shall maintain an office in the city through at least December 31st, 2028 for such services. In the event of an office closure or relocation outside of the city after December 31st, 2028, franchisees shall provide written notice to the city and must continue to have the capability to conveniently serve its subscribers' needs by providing or contracting with third-party agents to provide the opportunity for subscribers to exchange cable service equipment and make payments to the city during normal business hours. By way of example, in the city, in this context may include mail delivery of new equipment to a subscriber's home along with drop ship packaging from a local shipping store such as FedEx or UPS for returning the old equipment. Payment to the city. During any period of time during which the city opts to forego collecting a franchise fee in lieu of participating in the multi-channel video programming and service tax scheme under KRS 136.600 et sec, franchisees shall not be required to pay franchise fees. If at any time the city opts to exercise its constitutional right to collect franchise fees, franchisee's first franchise fee payable under this ordinance shall be paid by the city 90 days after the city gives written notice to the franchisee that the city has opted to exercise its constitutional right to collect franchise fees. Such franchise fee shall not be in the amount equal to 5% of the franchisee's annual gross revenues. In the event any other cable franchise or authorization to provide video service provides for a lesser franchise fee than this franchisee's obligation to pay a franchise fee under this franchise shall be reduced by any equivalent amount. Gross revenues shall mean all revenues as determined in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles actually received by the franchisee from subscribers residing within the service area for cable services purchased by such subscribers on a regular, reoccurring monthly basis. Gross revenue shall not include, 1, any taxes, fees, or assessments collected by franchise from subscribers for pass-throughs to a government agency, including the franchise fee and the FCC user fee. 2, bad debt. 3, credits, refunds, and deposits paid to subscribers. 4, any exclusions available under applicable state law. Transfer of ownership or control sets forth requirements for transfer of control. Records, reports, and maps sets forth requirements for franchisees' production of records and documents for inspection and copying by the city. Community programming sets forth the requirements for the educational and government access channel. Emergency alert override sets forth standards for an emergency alert override system. Administration and regulation. Performance evaluation sessions authorizes the city to conduct performance evaluations of the cable service. Violation notice and opportunity to cure sets forth standards for providing notice for violations of the franchise and allowing for the opportunity to cure. Revocation sets out procedures to be followed in the event of revocation. Equal protection sets out equal protection provisions of the ordinance. Dispute resolution sets forth the standards for resolution of issues and disputes. Modification provides the franchise may be amended or modified only by a written instrument executed by both parties. Waiver provides failure on the part of the city or the franchisee to enforce any provision of this franchise shall not be construed as a waiver of the rights to compel enforcement of such provision or other provision. Miscellaneous contains miscellaneous provisions relating to the execution and construction of the franchise. Binding effect provides the franchise is binding on each party and their respective successors and assigns. Compliance with state and federal laws provides the franchisee shall comply with all state and federal laws and regulations. Integration provides this ordinance sets forth the entire agreement between the parties respecting the subject matter hereof. Governing law provides the franchise shall be governed by and construed in accordance with the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Publication provides the franchisee shall assume the cost of posting and publishing its franchise.
All righty. We got a lot going on here. Here we go. Have any discussion on this at this time? I know we need a motion first, excuse me. Got a motion, second by Steve, made by Travis. Any discussion we need to have on this ordinance?
Mayor, I do.
Yes, ma'am?
All of what they're discussing on this, has there been any major change from the last time?
Any major changes? Not that I'm aware of.
Linda, our cable authority attorney, is online. Linda, did you hear the question?
Yes. This ordinance models the franchise ordinance that is currently in place with AT&T for video service. So that is the model for the service. One of the important issues that we negotiated with Charter Spectrum was the continuation of the local office. And that was an issue that was very important to the cable authority, and that is also included in this document.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, there was a big discussion about having an office here with the cable board because they was talking about moving it, but they decided to keep it here, and what's in this contract here.
Okay.
And that's been really one of the major holdups. It was to our benefit not to have one, to be honest, a franchise agreement. They did a study a while back. That office isn't being used, and this is not a service that is really growing. People are streaming now.
Right.
So this is literally the best deal we can get to keep a building here because they talked about moving it to Madisonville.
Right.
This is the best we can do.
Thank
And
you.
it keeps it here 4 more years.
Okay.
And Mayor, if I could also point out, this has gone before the cable authority over the past, well, more than a year during these negotiations. This comes to you upon recommendation and approval of the cable authority.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Any more discussion? All right, I'll call the roll.
Councilmember Meek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lumberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Keel,
Yes.
Councilmember Bell,
Yes.
Councilmember Francis,
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Yes.
That passes on first reading.
Thank y'all very much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty, we go back now to, we'll go back to item 8, to reports of officers and budget, guest speakers, financial report. I got you twice up there tonight.
Come twice. All right, good evening. It's my pleasure to bring you guys the monthly financial report for the month of July. So we start out the monthly financial report with the interfund transfers. We had one interfund transfer in the month of July to the Convention and Visitors Bureau for $2,500 in sponsorship of the alien invasion. Total year-to-date interfund transfers is $2,500, and the remaining balance in the interfund is $97,500. Our payroll tax for the month of July came in at $1,947,296. We had actually budgeted $1,957,348, a 2% increase. So we are running a little bit behind where we budgeted for payroll tax. Property tax, we don't start collecting that until the month of October, so it will be zero for July, August, and September. Insurance premium tax, for the month of July, we collected $1,311,655, which is quite a big increase over the month of July last year. We had a 28% increase for equivalent insurance premium tax, sorry. Business license, we're a little bit behind where we were this time last year. We collected $250,377 in the month of July. So overall, the general fund, we started the year with $348,328 worth of encumbrances. We've collected in the month of July $4,835,465. We spent $4,705,142. Which gives us positive revenue over expenses of $478,651. We had $299,015 worth of encumbrances at the end of the month, giving us positive revenue over expenses of $179,636 for July. When we compare that with where we were this time last year, you'll see our revenue over expense is quite a bit higher at $130,323. Now we'll talk about the MRA fund. MRA started the year with encumbrances of $37,002. We collected $76,628. We had actual expenses of $29,396, giving us positive revenue over expenses of $84,234. And then we had $27,000 worth of encumbrances. So we did have a positive amount in the MRA fund for the month of July. Capital fund, we started the year with $316,463. We have not moved any capital revenue. We won't do that until September. We had expenses of $426,095, meaning we had more expenses than we had revenue for capital. So capital ended the month with $230,462 to the negative. For each of our departments, just touch on our IT department a little bit. We pay a lot of our software costs in the month of July and August. All of our software comes due. Yeah, our subscriptions for a lot of the city's software. So it's running negative. It's running over budget. For 1 month, we should be at 8.33%. So admin's at 7.3%, the tax department's at 3.7%, IT's at 17%, and then legislative's at 7.5%. Public safety, the police department's at 8.1%, ECC's at 7.1%, the fire department's at 7.9%, EMS is at 9.3%, and then fire prevention is at 5.8%. In our public works area, our public works admin's at 7%, city maintenance is at 6.9%, Fort Campbell contracts is at 6.4%, the service center's at 7.9%, parks and rec is at 10.4%, sportsplex is at 7.1%, and the aquatic center is at 21%. Cash balance for the year, we started the year with $17,617,425. We collected the $4,835,465. We spent the $4,705,142, given our actual cash balance at July, at $17,747,748 minus our encumbrances gives us our available cash at $17,448,733. And then on this slide, all of our reserve accounts change because of closing the year. And you'll notice that we took off the body cameras because we will expend all of that fund this year. So we had $17,448,733 as of July 31st, minus our capital equipment replacement reserve, which is now at $2,027,913. Our newly formed building maintenance reserve at $236,638, and then our future pension obligations at $1,201,994. So that gives our unassigned cash fund balance at $13,982,000, which is at 32% of our adjusted operating budget. When we compare that to where we were this time last year, our unassigned percentage was at 28.2, and this year it's at 32%. So that concludes my monthly financial report. I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys might have.
Council members, that IT budget covers every department and all software from codes, fire, this what you're seeing, police. So it may look like he spent a bunch of money, but we pay it at the beginning of each fiscal year.
All right. Any question from Melissa on this budget report? All righty. We'll move into the next one then.
All right, so we usually talk about the property tax rates at a committee of the whole. We realized last week, or maybe the week before Brittany did, that we were going to hit some time issues where we might have to call a special called meeting in September if we didn't get the property rate tax passed this evening. We have to actually get it published in the newspaper by this Thursday, which means Brittany's got to turn the rates in tomorrow. So we're going to kind of have a property tax discussion, the property tax rate, and hopefully you guys will forward a rate on to council so we can get it published in the paper so that we don't have to have a special called meeting. If you guys don't decide a rate tonight, we will have to have a special called meeting in September to pass the rate. It has to be passed by like September 20th so we can print property tax bills and have them mailed by September 30th because we begin collecting them October 1st. So the reason we went ahead and put this on the agenda is to hopefully get a rate decided tonight. So last year was the lowest property tax rate we have on record. If we pass whichever rate we pass tonight, it will also be the lowest rate we've had since we've been counting them. In 1999, we had a property tax rate of 22.8. Last year, we were at 22.3, which was the lowest rate. Let's go on and get into our assessments. As you can see, are steadily going up. Over the last 3 years, they've increased. We have this year, our assessments are at $2,384,012,916. So that's the amount of real property that is going to be taxed, and that's the rate you're really deciding. So new growth this year is $42,601,769 on top of what's been reassessed, the $199 million of reassessed fees.
Got a question, Melissa.
Yep.
So go back one. So when you're saying new growth, that's not any reassessment, that's a physical new building?
Yes.
New houses.
Okay.
Yes. New houses, new industry, like new real property. So we're talking about all of these amounts are dealing with real property. So.
Okay. That answers my question. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I want to talk about the two rates that I sent you in the memo. The compensating rate is 20.9. And what a compensating rate means is if we wanted to collect the exact same amount of revenue we collected last year, we would pass a compensating rate. We wouldn't count any new growth. We wouldn't count any new assessments. We would pass a compensating rate, and that would have us collect the exact same amount. The maximum rate by KRS that we can collect this year is 21.8 cents, which is still lower than the maximum rate we had last year. So I did the math today. 92% of people, if you pass the maximum rate, will see a decrease in their property tax. only 8% of people will see, where their property was reassessed and see what we would call an increase. But 92% of the people, no matter which rate you pass, and you can pass any rate between the 20.9 and the 21.8. I'm recommending the 21.8 that was sent out to you guys in the memo that I sent you. So I'm happy to try to answer any other questions you guys might have, and I'm looking for a motion to send a rate to council so we can get it published.
Any discussions from Melissa?
I do have a question. Based on the payroll tax report that you gave between 23 and 24, would you say that you could see a softening in our economy based on payroll income?
I was very conservative in the payroll tax revenue that I projected. I only projected a 2% increase, and we did not hit that in July. I'm not worried yet. It's only 1 month. You know, payroll tax has been steadily going up. So I try not to put a whole lot of stock when it's just 1 month, and let's see what August does. So I'm not really prepared to say there's a softening yet since it's just 1 month. I mean, we still collected like $1.9 million in payroll tax, which, you know, when first time we hit 2 million in payroll tax, it was like, I couldn't believe it because we had never hit 2 million before. So, I mean, we still collected quite a bit of payroll tax, just not what I had estimated.
Okay.
Travis?
So if we take this compensating rate, the 20.9, does that hurt us credit wise or any kind of bonding? Does it create a bonding issue or?
It hurts us in the fact that year over year, and Robert had done like a big long spreadsheet a few years ago. I didn't do that. Year over year, what it costs the city for not taking the maximum allowable rate you can take, it hurts us that way. It does not affect our bond rating, no. Well, it could. They always ask if we take the 4%.
When Robert was here, he estimated that we were losing. When I say losing, you can never get it back. We left on the table about $2 million at that point a year, annually, for not taking it. It didn't do us any favors.
Steve?
Just to be sure I heard the numbers right, you said, looking at the assessments compared to the new property, 92% of property owners will see a decrease.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Melissa?
What kind of decrease?
Well, instead of like 22, it's like a 0.05% decrease off of their bill. So, I was trying to think of a real quick math option. Troy said it was okay if I didn't.
Travis?
So this is a tax increase
No,
per se,
Decrease.
92% of taxpayers will see a tax
But you're-
decrease.
but the 4%, we're taking the 4%, we're taking our total income and raising that by 4%, correct? Is that how this works?
Not exactly.
Okay.
So the Department of Local Government puts out a spreadsheet that all the cities use that helps us calculate our compensating rate and our maximum rate. If your assessments go up, it's based, if our assessments hadn't gone up and they were exactly the same as they were last year, a maximum rate would be a 4% increase. But because the assessments went up, it doesn't actually calculate out that we're taxing people more. We are actually going to pass whichever rate you guys go with. You are passing the lowest tax rate for the city.
But the assessments are higher than they've ever been as well.
The assessments are
That's what I
higher.
was trying to get to.
And I actually expect the assessments to continue to rise when you have a company out investing $1 billion in the city. Your property tax assessments are going to go up. So not just them building, but there are other people building in the city. So our assessments are going to go up every year. At least for the next few years, anticipate the assessments to continue to go up. I tried to reach out to Angie Strader today. I didn't get an email back from her, but just to see like how many years it takes them to reassess all the property, because I don't know all of the answers.
So what's the 8% that will be affected primarily? Is it
I don't
industrial
know.
or it's not your residential? Can you split that up? or
I
no?
don't know which properties were reassessed. I have no idea,
Oh, so
no
it's
way
only
of
the
knowing.
ones that, okay.
Yes, only the properties that were reassessed
So
would see an
I
increase.
just have a comment to make. I mean, if we go with the compensating rate or whatever you call it, that's kind of a little bit of a break to our citizens. But we turn around over here on the other side and we pay money for big businesses. We provide incentives for those businesses to come in. So I'm looking at the lower rate myself. I think we ought to do something for the citizens. That's just me.
I agree because you say it's not a tax increase. For the majority, it may not be, but for the 8%, it's an increase. And you haven't laid out if they're residential or commercial. And a tax increase, even to 1% of the population, is still a tax increase. And we sit here voted by people, and it's our responsibility with taxpayer money to be responsible.
Well said.
And a tax increase is a tax increase. So-
It's a decrease. Either rate you pass is a tax decrease. And if you pass the lower rate,
It's a rate
it's for
increase.
big businesses and small. It's for everybody. So you can't like say it's for the residents, it's also for the industries. Whatever property tax rate you pass is across the board.
Don, did you have something?
I have a question. I noticed on the list that you went back, all the way back to 99, that it also had a decrease and then it went back up to 24%. I was wondering if we go down to the 20% that you had, the 20.9, is it possible that we may run into where we may have to raise it back up? Do you foresee that a little bit or not? If we go to the 20.9?
Once you pass it for this year, there's
Not now, I'm talking
no changing it.
Not now, I'm talking about in the future. If we go that low, if we go to the 20.9.
If I were predicting at some point, the property tax rate is going to have to go back up if I were predicting, but
That's a yes?
yeah,
Possible?
I can't predict what future councils will do.
Okay.
I don't want to prolong the discussion unnecessarily, but, the assessment that's done by PVA, we really don't have any control
No.
over what that assessment's going to be. And it's going to be governed by many things, not just that office necessarily looking at a property and arbitrarily saying it's, worth 10% more or whatever. But in the economy in which we live right now, especially with the losses that insurance companies are having and the cost of replacement of homes and that kind of thing, they're kind of bound by some of those issues as well, I'm sure. But I agree with Chuck and that we should think about the possibility of us tightening our belts or us really working more frugally so that we can pass some of those along, especially in the economy in which we're living with the inflation rate that's going on right now, to think about the citizens and give them some help. That's why we're here.
So I make
I feel.
Hold on just a second, Joe. Hold on. I got Councilman Keel still waiting. Say something.
Just something I want to throw out. I mean, we've run into this. I won't forget, Troy, what was it, a couple years ago, previous council, we said we could do the 4%. Because, I had a phone conversation, said we'd probably do the 4% and actually lower the rate. And we said, that's probably never going to happen again. It happened again last year. We did it. And here we are sitting here again. That is a good sign of growth. I know when my reassessment was done, I was not a happy guy when I got the new bill, but I can say the last 2 years, my tax rate has gone down. on the city taxes. So I was just wondering, in all fairness to what, Councilmember Francis was saying, when you're not taking that 4%, you're not getting that overall, it's cumulative, it's a cumulative growth. So, I would almost throw out there, why don't we just shoot the middle? That'd be, if I'm right, 21.35. Check my math because I am not a mathematician. But if we shot the middle, that way we are coming down a little bit off the 4%, taking more of a 2%. That way we're still not losing everything.
You can pass any rate. I wish you'd run it to either 3 or 4. Just pick one.
Well, I'm
I
gonna
don't
go
know.
Instead of
back,
3, 5.
I'm gonna go back to
But-
Chuck
I'll
now.
go 21.3. I'd be fine with that.
I'm going back to
just
Chuck
shooting the middle.
Crabtree now.
So I would like to make a motion that we accept for this year the compensating rate of 20.9%. That's my
Second.
motion.
I'll second that.
I got that. I got Jamie. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now back to this agenda.
Approval of minutes.
Approval of minutes on August 6, 2024, regular meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second on that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty, that passes. Item 10, flip the page. Ordinance 22-2024, Major Lane and Old Major Lane zoning, second reading.
Amending the zoning maps of the city of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, zone properties located on Major Lane and Old Major Lane. Whereas Community and Development Services initiated a zoning map amendment by Resolution 2024-03 to assign the original zoning designation of R1 Single Family Residential District to properties located on Major Lane and Old Major Lane. And whereas Community and Development Services made favorable recommendation at their June 24th, 2024 meeting for City Council to approve original zoning application R24-6-1. And whereas City Council concurs, said recommendation is in agreement with the Hopkinsville Christian County Comprehensive Plan, and significant physical, social, and economic changes have occurred warranting the zoning of the property. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, pursuant to KRS 100.211, Hopkinsville Code of Ordinances, Community and Development Services Resolution 2024-03, and recommendation dated June 24th, 2024, the properties listed on Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein, and as further described on Exhibit B attached hereto and incorporated herein, are hereby zoned R1 Single Family Residential District. Section 2 of any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or otherwise invalid. Such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. Section 3, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance shall take effect after its passage and publication according to law.
All right. Needing a motion?
Motion.
Travis and Don. Any discussion? Seeing none, call the clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Meek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lumberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Keel,
Yes.
Councilmember Bell,
Yes.
Councilmember Francis,
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Yes.
That does pass on second reading.
All righty, ordinance 23-2024, Young Street rezoning, second reading.
Amending the zoning maps of the city of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, rezone a 1.59 acre property located on Young Street. Whereas Community and Development Services made favorable recommendation at their June 24th, 2024 meeting for City Council to approve rezoning application R24-6-2 as filed by the applicant owner, Christian County Government. And whereas City Council concurs, said recommendation is in agreement with the Hopkinsville Christian County Comprehensive Plan, and significant physical, social, and economic changes have occurred warranting the rezoning. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, pursuant to KRS 100.211, Hopkinsville Code of Ordinances and Community and Development Services recommendation dated June 24th, 2024, a 1.59 acre property vacant lot located on Young Street, approximately 220 feet southwest of the intersection of Young Street and West 7th Street, as further described on Exhibit A and attached hereto and incorporated herein, is hereby rezoned from R4 Multifamily Residential District to B2 General Business District. Section 2, if any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. Section 3, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance shall take effect after its passage and publication according to law.
I need a motion.
So moved. Second.
Don,
Yeah.
Bruce. All righty. Any discussion on this? Call the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Meek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lumberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Keel,
Yes.
Councilmember Bell,
Yes.
Councilmember Francis,
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Yes.
That passes on second reading.
Okay. Ordinance 24-2024 Downtown Entertainment District, second reading.
An ordinance establishing an entertainment destination center in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, further directing the application for an entertainment destination center license from the Kentucky Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control, and further establishing the requirements for a licensee to sell alcoholic beverages within the common areas of the entertainment destination center. Whereas KRS 243.03021 authorizes the issuance of an entertainment destination center EDC license by the Kentucky Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control, and whereas the creation of an EDC in the downtown will aid the economic growth of tourism in the city, capitalize on the revitalization taking place in downtown Hopkinsville, and promote retail growth in Hopkinsville. And whereas the city seeks to create an EDC within its downtown for which it shall obtain a license from the Kentucky Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control. And whereas the city further seeks to establish the requirements for a licensee to sell alcoholic beverages within the common areas of the EDC. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, the geographical boundaries and the Entertainment Destination Center in the City of Hopkinsville are set forth on the map attached hereto as Exhibit A and incorporated herein by reference. The following properties within the EDC are excluded from the EDC licensed premises. Properties owned as of the effective date of this ordinance by religious institutions in certain public spaces, including but not limited to the Hopkinsville Municipal Center. Founders Square shall be included within the EDC boundaries only during special events as authorized by the city. Section 2A, the City of Hopkinsville shall apply to the Commonwealth of Kentucky Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control for an EDC license and shall be the listed licensee. B, the Chief Financial Officer shall serve as the administrator of the EDC license. C, an ABC licensee that is located within the EDC and which sells alcoholic beverages shall be required to hold the necessary alcoholic beverage license and licenses for its premises. Only the applicable existing retail drink license are required by the state for an ABC licensee to participate in the EDC. D, in order to participate in the EDC, an ABC licensee must submit a written application to the CFO. Upon verifying the ABC licensee has met all the requirements of the EDC, the CFO shall enter into a written agreement with the ABC licensee to permit their involvement in the EDC. 1, all ABC licensees approved by the CFO to operate within the EDC must enter into a written agreement with the city in which an ABC licensee agrees to indemnify the city and hold the city harmless for any incidents which occur as a result of the ABC licensee operating within the EDC, as well as naming the city as an additional insured on the ABC licensee's liquor liability insurance policy and provide the city a written certification evidencing same. 2, all ABC licensees approved by the CFO to operate within the EDC must pay an annual fee of $100. 3, all ABC licensees approved by the CFO to operate within the EDC must provide supplemental training to all servers and bartenders employed by the ABC licensee. The purpose of the supplement training is to educate the employees of the additional regulations the business is subject to as part of the EDC. Proof of the required additional training must be submitted to the CFO on or before July 1st of each year. 4, any EDC agreement shall automatically terminate upon transfer of the ownership of the EDC licensee. Upon such termination, new ownership shall be required to reapply for an EDC license before participating in the EDC. 5, if permission to participate in the EDC is denied by the CFO, the ABC licensee may file an appeal of the decision to the city administrator, who will conduct a hearing to determine whether or not to uphold or overturn the decision of the CFO. During EDC operation hours, customers may leave the premises of an EDC participating ABC licensee with alcoholic beverage drinks in the EDC branded cups and consume those drinks in any entertainment destination center common area if the city, 1, possesses the common area, 2, provides adequate security for the common area, 3, ensures that the public streets are controlled in a manner that maintains public safety and pedestrian protection from vehicular traffic, and 4, has granted permission for the conduct of the participating ABC licensee and has a signed agreement with the city to conduct these activities. If, upon obtaining written permission from the city of Hopkinsville as outlined in subsection G, the following businesses may choose to allow customers to possess a drink beverage that were purchased from either EDC participating retail drink licensee located wholly within the storefront sharing a physical boundary with the licensed entertainment destination center during EDC operational hours. 1, a business with a retail drink license located wholly within the city entertainment destination center or that has a storefront sharing a physical boundary with the licensed entertainment destination center. And 2, a business that does not have a retail drink license that is located wholly within the licensed entertainment destination center or that has a storefront sharing a physical boundary with the licensed entertainment destination center. G, pursuant to KRS 243.020, any business wishing to participate in entertainment destination center as set forth in subsection F must contact the CFO to obtain written permission to participate. 1, written permission may be denied or revoked if A, the business does not maintain an active business license within the city of Hopkinsville or has not paid all taxes and fees due to the city of Hopkinsville. B, the business does not have a valid certificate of occupancy issued by the city of Hopkinsville. C, the business operated at the location does not routinely allow the public to enter the premises in the normal course of business. D, the business is otherwise ineligible to obtain an ABC license. E, the business, its patrons, agents, servants, or employees engage in disorderly behavior as that term is defined in KRS 244.1202. 2, if written permission is denied to a business requesting permission to allow customers to possess and drink beverages that were purchased from an EDC participating retail drink licensee, that business may file an appeal of the decision within 7 days of that denial to the city administrator, who will conduct a hearing in order to uphold or overturn the decision to deny written permission. 3, any revocation of written permission to a business allowing customers to possess and drink beverages that were purchased from an EDC participating retail drink licensee will be provided within 24 hours notice. The business may appeal said denial or revocation to the city administrator within 7 days of the notice of revocation. If the business fails to appeal a license revocation within that time set forth herein, such decision shall be final and shall not be subject to further review. H, an ABC license shall hold all necessary licenses to sell alcoholic beverages within the EDC on Sundays in order to participate within the EDC on Sundays. I, participating ABC licensees and non-licensed businesses may prohibit customers from entering their premises with an alcoholic beverage purchased from a participating ABC licensee. J, patrons are prohibited from taking alcoholic beverages outside the physical boundaries of the entertainment destination center. K, any drinks that are removed from the premises of an ABC licensee participating in the EDC shall be in the City of Hopkinsville Entertainment Destination Cup, which shall meet the requirements of the city regarding the type and design of the cup. These cups shall be purchased by the licensee. L, in no event shall patrons be permitted to bring any alcoholic beverages purchased outside the EDC into the EDC. M, operational hours of the EDC shall be from 11 o'clock a.m. until 10 o'clock p.m. and shall run from Sunday through Saturday. And nothing contained in this ordinance shall be construed to prohibit minors from entering the EDC common areas. O, all EDC licensees are subject to the EDC license being revoked by the city within 24 hours notice upon a finding by the CFO that the EDC licensee has violated any terms or conditions of the EDC ordinance, the EDC agreement entered into by parties, or federal, state, or city law. The city EDC licensee may appeal this revocation to the city administrator within 7 days of the notice of revocation. If the EDC licensee fails to appeal a license revocation within this time frame set forth herein, such decision shall not be subject to further review. Section 3, if any section, subsection, sentence, clause of this phrase of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. Section 4, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 5, this ordinance shall take effect after its passage and publication according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Steve, Travis. All right. Any discussion?
Mayor, I got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
When will this go into effect? Once
After
we
it
have
comes
the
back
second
from the
reading?
state. Once it comes back from the state, we'll bring it back to council.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
All right.
We're still at that place. This has to pass to go to the state. The
Yes.
state will make recommendations, especially with respect, as I mentioned before, about the safety of carrying alcoholic beverages across those two public roadways.
Exactly.
All right, I'm
Yes.
just concerned.
We are going to make sure the state says it's okay, and then we'll bring it back to y'all,
Okay.
and then we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, any more questions? All righty, I call the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Meek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lumberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Keel,
Yes.
Councilmember Bell,
Yes.
Councilmember Francis,
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Yes.
That passes on second reading.
All right. We have ordinance 25-2024, 24-25 operational budget amendment, second reading.
Amending the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky annual budget for fiscal year July 1, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 by estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of city government. Summary, now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, by summary, Section 1 of Ordinance 16, 2024, adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025 is amended as follows. Revenues, general fund, $51,394,493. Municipal road aid fund, $776,690. Prior year MRA, $148,619. Prior year general fund, $475,697. Total revenues, $52,795,499. Expenses, general fund, $51,870,190. Municipal road aid fund, $925,309. Total expenses, $52,795,499. Surplus zero. Section 2, the full text of this ordinance is on file in the office of the undersigned city clerk of the City of Hopkinsville at 715 South Virginia Street, Hopkinsville, Kentucky, where it is available for public inspection between the hours of 8 o'clock a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Need a motion?
Second.
Don and Jamie? Any discussion about this? Seeing none, I call the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Meek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lumberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Keel,
Yes.
Councilmember Bell,
Yes.
Councilmember Francis,
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Yes.
That passes on second reading.
All righty, we're going to move down to item 11, municipal orders. You ready to go? All right, municipal order 23-2024, Legacy Hopkinsville Rental Rehab Incentive Programs.
Upon recommendation from the Legacy Hopkinsville Rental Rehabilitation Incentives Program Committee, Hopkinsville City Council hereby adopts the attached Legacy Hopkinsville Rental Rehabilitation Incentives Program and further rescinds Municipal Order 09-2012. Funding for the Legacy Hopkinsville Rental Rehabilitation Incentives Program will be taken from funds budgeted for the Intercity Res Program.
All right, need a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Travis? Bruce? All righty. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty. Item B, municipal order 24-2024, surplus property.
Whereas the attached listed vehicles were purchased for use by the Hopkinsville Police Department, and whereas said vehicles are in need of repair exceeding current value and/or of no value to the city in delivering public services. Now therefore be it ordered, Hopkinsville City Council hereby declares the vehicles on the attached list surplus property and authorizes the mayor to dispose of said vehicles by methods available in KRS 82.083.
Need a motion?
Motion.
Don?
Second.
Did Jay Bill? All right. Any discussion?
I have a question, Mayor.
Yes,
How you doing?
I'm doing good. dear.
Good. I was trying to find out what is wrong with the vehicles. Are we able to find that out?
I don't see Greg or anybody here
Here.
from the service department. Are they out of age or what are they on that, chief? Do you know?
They're wore out.
They're wore out, basically.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chief Newby. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty, moving into item 12. Anybody got any other business we need to discuss? Chuck?
I got a question. Okay, going back up to the Legacy Hopkinsville Rental Rehabilitation Incentive Program. We met back at the first of the year, and actually, I think maybe even into December. It went to Council of the Whole and was passed. Okay, and that was, I don't remember what month it was passed, but it's been some time. Why are we just now seeing it?
Because we are just, it's way it's coming up on our business list and stuff
Okay.
where it has, but we're trying to get it so we can get something, incentives moving for CDS and moving forward on this.
But why did we wait so long? I mean, it seemed like to me it would have been an automatic thing to go to council the next meeting.
Once they give it to us, we took it from CDS and then we looked at it, Doug reviewed it, and we brought it back, and now we're going over it right now.
So when I came into the meeting, I thought that process should have been much quicker.
Right.
I think when something gets voted on in council of the whole and passed, at the next available meetings of city council, it should be.
That'll be up to me on that, Chuck.
Well, I would like to take that, make that automatic, and council, I think, can do
It's just
that.
like the committee of the whole. If it depends on where I'm at on my agenda on that, Chuck.
But we shouldn't wait 5 or 6 months for an item to come.
We
to
say the same
further
thing about the
action.
chicken ordinance.
I don't have control of either agenda. I just don't like the idea of waiting multiple months to take action on something that took us 2 minutes.
It took us 2 minutes, but we also had to make sure where we was doing with it. And also got to make sure, do we still want to do this program and how we're going to do this program? We're going to do it right. Because if we spend that kind of money, how are we going to make sure we spend that kind of money and make the biggest impact we can make for the city?
We went through it as a committee. We went through it as a council of the whole. I think that's a pretty good overview, and it's not a lot of dollars compared to the road that we built out in the industrial park that we never should have built.
Well, I
So,
agree with that too.
I mean, I'm just wanting to try to make the process smoother.
I like to see it
and
smoother
not have
and
to wait
faster.
4, 5, 6 months for something that should pretty much be an automatic thing. So that's my point.
Okay.
I was going to make a motion to that. That motion really needs to be in council of the whole. So,
Right.
Anyway, that's just something that was kind of bugging me. I want to talk
Okay.
about it a little bit.
No problem. We can talk about it. We think we need to discuss it some more. Okay.
I have a question, Mayor, right quick.
Yes.
When does it take effect now that we're passing it?
It will be in effect once we get it signed off on upstairs in the next couple of days and back down to CDS and go
Okay,
from there.
and then funding will be available after that?
Once yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Any more?
Wait on me on the chicken ordinance, that's all I got to say. That was first available meeting, and Jamie will back me up.
Thanks, Chairman.
Oh, me. Any other thing under other? All right. Councilman comments. Item 13. Anybody got a councilman comments?
I have some.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, if you've taken an opportunity to drive through Ward 9 and maybe drive up and down Bryan Street, the planters that we planted back in June are doing wonderful. I was there the other day. I helped one of the residents move a refrigerator to salvage. However, they've got cherry tomatoes and flowers and greenery, and as long as residents leave them alone and keep them watered, they'll last a long time. But it looks really nice. If you just take a drive, it looks really nice. A couple of the other houses are being rehabilitated, and Bryan Street really looks nice.
All right. Any other councilman comments?
I thought I might mention, since we had, public comments earlier, I'm on the ECC board. The ECC board kind of oversees the operation of the tow businesses.
Yes, sir.
It's actually run by the I guess, the police department or whatever. My point is this, hopefully not to get into that at each of the ECC board meetings, there is an audience for public comments. No one in audience with that has ever taken advantage of that. So I'm letting the public know right now that the next ECC board meeting is Thursday, September 19th at 10 a.m. All you have to do is go into the front entry of the police department, and they'll direct you to the right room to meet at, and you'll be able to have your say right there. I just encourage anyone that has anything that they want to say to the police department, the sheriff's department, have a representative of the fiscal court there. I'm here to represent you
Yes, sir.
and us and the city. And so you have an opportunity then to call. That is Thursday, September 19.
We'll move into 14, adjournment, Ward 7.
All right, thanks again, Mayor. So I'm just going to close with a quote from Elon Musk. When something is important enough, you do it, even if the odds are not in your favor. And with that, we'll close. Thank you.
Have a motion to
Motion.
adjourn, second.
Second.
Jamie, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.